I mean, like, holy shit. What the fuck? Welcome, everybody. I didn't even know this game was out. I've been excited for this for like a month now. I didn't even know it was out. Let me check the settings and stuff. Who the fuck is ready for this? Disclaimers? Remember the content creators control music to 0. Oh. Ugh. Really? Come on. Game. Older audience suggests music content and other bit too. Pornographic violence, strong language, alcohol, and drug injury and dismemberment. Please touch off your choices matter. The decision you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even a choice in red text which contains exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You may even uncover a secret ending. There are no wrong options, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Progress text and dialogue, rewind text and dialogue, progress text and dialogue. Hide the UI. Will be Delta. Delta. Will be Delta. I can choose my pronouns. Alright, but if I turn I'll leave it low. They them, please. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from... Okay, so really the game isn't out, and this is a demo. Spectral mist bled from the seams where this reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts, driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united their fear, while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Oh, god damn. The Alchemist, an exiled Cenobium mage, took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seems to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. The Hound, a forsaken thief. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when no one else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure and then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to Cenobium, your last hope. You have a sharply honed social intuition, and you can survive, even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priests claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's word, you fled in search of the Cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. Unnamed sounds like by far the most fun. Your name is Delta. You selected they them pronouns. Your backstory is the Unnamed, is this correct? Yeah. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry. Speaking of, I don't have any water for this recording, so my voice might deteriorate. I began to despair. But then I saw it. Big ol' city time. Iridia, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world, and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. So the reason I found this game at all is because the trailer for it was a cover of a song, I forget which song it is, by Dan Avidan, the lead singer of Ninja Sex Party, one of the Game Grumps. And I loved that cover a lot. I loved that trailer a lot, and I thought, we need to play this. So I'm gonna play the demo, and then when this game comes out, play the full game also. Maybe, if we can fit it into our very busy schedules of stuff that you guys don't get to know about yet. All that stands between me and a cure is the final stretch of salt-soaked wastes. Or so I think until I see the first fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. The thick blanket of fog very quickly engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. It's midnight and I don't want to scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends. Sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, while white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Oh gosh. I like him. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen? Oh, these are all eyes. Interesting. You got a cockeye? It's cockeyed. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. Damn. The folly is good. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move. Said yawning. The city, obviously. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm heading in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. This shit's copyrighted. This shit bangs. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque. As long as the copyright doesn't like block the video, I don't mind. Frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows, and catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming hot tide. Hot. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches onto the jagged edge of a rib. Damn. Jutting out from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. The pain is quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? One of the travelers in the caravan leans over me. I'm hot. Is that me? I'm hot. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. Oh no, they're hot. Got it. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. I forgot I was cursed. All it takes is one touch. In the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No. I've seen this faith countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens. On my hand? Until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die! Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Screaming won't help. Bite them off. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers into my ears, slowing each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm gonna die. And not because of the fogfall or the soul, it's because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, no. Not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, and then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. Soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin. Leather? Oh yeah, that's leathery. Ooh, spiky too. I didn't even notice it. Ooh. As though grinning. I didn't like the crunch, to be honest. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sank into the murky water, all I could feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of the shallow water. Distantly, I noticed an arm resting among the outcrop of reeds. Mine, neatly severed at the elbow. I should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of the bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to me. For the next moment I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. A feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin. A firm surface underneath me. A strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Oh shit. Hello. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I am completely at their mercy. Hot. Stay away from me. My words come out little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? I let myself slump back down against the thin pillow, wincing when the motion jolts my head. Ah, a cooperative patient. Thank you. The words swim in one ear and out the other without much comprehension. I pull up the sheet higher, wiping my eyes until my vision clears. Ooh. Yes. The stranger towers over my prone form. A warm light reflects off of his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back. That's when I notice that I am completely naked, except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on the low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange. Cursed. Inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even the shrine of my childhood. The one sanctuary I ever knew turned out to be a horrific lie. I scowled, pulling the sheets protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hand. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. Ooh! With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. And various, fucking needles, just, for fun. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. I guess the sulfur smell from earlier is gone. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Meeting his gaze sends a hot frisson down my spine. Something about him nags at me, like a half-formed memory I can't place. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. I love the mulletiest mullet that ever mulleted. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. He is hot. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An inch of my elbow stops me short. I reach out absent-mindedly to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off, and yet my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitching poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race with sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. Seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide out of bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, That's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, my legs bump against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, but the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Good options here. I wonder what I'll pick. I think I'll just say no, I can't tell you. That's a very personal question I don't really want to answer. Is that so? Surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary sort of snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now. Learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. Why is everyone in this city so damn hot? How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he is explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? The Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trail off, bewildered. I never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Karas, pinched the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointed. This game, I'm engrossed. I want this. I need this. He looks pointedly at my fleshly bandaged hands. Although I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Delta. My name is Delta. It is a pleasure to meet you, Delta. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving my life. A chance to smile in return. Even if you won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind I'd be dead if it weren't for Karas. Think nothing of it. Not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Karas. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think of what a kind of price Karas might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave. Such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Delta. His voice dips into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. Are we gonna fuck? Is that like today? I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none for you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Karas lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Delta? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risk life and limb for... You did risk both those things. For nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Westwick. Ask for Leander. Excuse me? The wet what? The wet wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the posting advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Cross points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done, and I've always been a magnet for the worst kind of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish to save your game. Though he is smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. God, imagine if doctors were like, it's unethical to make you poor. We won't do that. That'd be so cool. I found myself standing in a narrow, rather gloomy alley. I pulled a new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that had been emptied into the street. Icky. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin I scraped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Ross didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Karas gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. Better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. To the end of the demo. I don't know, probably this feels like a good point. The line outside Karas's clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. Oh gosh. Oh, my everything is exploding. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. And there's something else. A charge in the air, like the shift in pressure before a storm. A little more than faint. Persistent thrumming, but I can't seem to shake it. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach is a faint gurgle. This morning's sketch. Fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving. So I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you got? The vendor points to a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece, don't burn your mouth. Take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Ooh, pretty. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. You know what? I think we're gonna do a second episode of this next time of the demo. I hope you all enjoyed. Goodbye.